Mexico. 4,137 days since the lights went out in Beijing in 2014, a legacy was born with the world's premier electric single-seater racing series. Here in 2026, we celebrate history. Welcome to the Mexico City ePrix for the 150th start-finish straight, 270 meters, the run down towards the first corner. Here's the grid, Pepe Marti right at the back of it, a legacy of his crash in Sao Paulo. He will be starting right at the back and have a drive-through penalty in the race. Then you've got Vergne and Drugovich, also both with penalties courtesy of some incidents that also happened in Brazil. Next up, Lucas Di Grassi and then Joel Eriksson on the grid for Envision. Further up the order is Zane Maloney, his first points out in Sao Paulo with his teammate Lucas Di Grassi. The next row up on the grid for the fourth consecutive race. Maloney out-qualifies his teammate. Cassidy there, 4 of the last 7 podiums he scored outside of the top 10. And here is how the top 10 will line up. On the fringes of the top 10 then, this is how it looks. Antonio Felix da Costa, second consecutive top 10 start of season 12. He had a tech issue in FP2, got no running, so good result for him. Maximilian Günther, his third consecutive top 10 start here in Mexico. Reigning world champion Oliver Rowland won this race last year. His title event kicked off with a second place last time out in Sao Paulo. Jake Dennis, your championship leader, starts for 7th for the second consecutive year here in Mexico City. Then it's Dan Ticktum. His previous best starting position here in Mexico was 5th. That was back in 2023. Nico Muller is the highest Porsche-powered car on the grid. His teammate Pascal Wehrlein struggled in qualifying. Evans won here in 2020. His last podium was back in Berlin in July of 25. Edoardo Mortara, his second time, starting in 3rd position for the second consecutive race. It's his highest starting place here as well since 2022. Then Taylor Barnard, he was on pole for a brief moment, but his lap time was deleted for track limits. It's his 5th front row start. And then Sebastian Buemi, his first pole position since Berlin 2023 for the 150th Formula E race. The fans are watching on here in the grandstands, James Rossiter. This is going to be an exciting race. It's very hot now down on the tarmac, on the grid, and I think I'm in for a very exciting one. Well, there's Pepe Marti, 20th and last on the grid. Green flag is waved at the back. Barnard on the left. 3 thumbs up from Idris Elba as we wait for the 5 red lights to come on. 36 laps about to go racing. We celebrate the 150th race of Formula E. It's time for a milestone in Mexico as we go racing. Good start from Barnard off the front row of the grid. He pulls alongside and tries to challenge against Sebastian Buemi down towards the first corner, but Buemi chops his nose up and goes deep. He's gone off straight down at turn 1. So Barnard through and into the lead. Buemi is out of contention for the victory, and the race isn't even a corner old.
Unbelievable. He's obviously had to brake on the inside, on the dirty part of the track, but for a driver of his experience, he will be disappointed with that.
That's a bit of disappointment then for Sebastian Buemi. So it's Barnard that leads from Mortara. Nico Muller's up into 3rd place. He's side by side with Mitch Evans as we come through the complex then into turn 8. Then on the run down in towards turn 9. This is now a big braking zone and an overtaking opportunity. You can see Mortara going for the defensive line there, and very big action in the background as we come in towards that right-hander.
Yeah, that was Da Costa there having a bit of an elbows out moment with somebody else.
I think it was Wehrlein, wasn't it? His former teammate at Porsche. So no love lost between those two. If any of you have seen the documentary from last year, so yeah, not surprised to see them getting their elbows out.
Yeah, Felipe Drugovich was also making some moves right up the back of the field. He's in 16th position from where he started on the grid, down in 17th, so 1 position gained. Then as we come to the end of the first lap, it's Taylor Barnard that leads. Edo Mortara in 2nd, but keep an eye out for Nico Muller as Mortara goes for that sort of defensive line down the start-finish straight, goes back into the traditional racing line as we come in towards turn 1.
Dennis has had a really good start, hasn't he? He's up 2 places. Günther's up 3 places as well. So for Dennis, as we see a little move down the inside.
Da Costa and Rowland.
Da Costa and Rowland, wasn't it?
Yeah, Rowland's gotten shuffled out here. It might open the door for Pascal Wehrlein to take profit of it as well. Wehrlein having a look there into the complex, but nothing doing for him. And in fact, no, he is through, as a matter of fact. Yep, so he's up into 9th place now, ahead of Oliver Rowland, down to 10th.
Should launch him onto the start-finish straight quicker than Mitch Evans in front.
Yeah, nicely done there for Pascal Wehrlein. So he's through on Oliver Rowland, he's through on Dan Ticktum, and now he's going to be through on Mitch Evans here for position as well. We're side by side with Mortara for the lead as well. Into turn 1, he's got the line, he's got the place. That's going to open the door here for Nico Muller as well in the Porsche. He's got the inside line, which will turn to the outside line. Muller's going for the outside on Mortara's race lead, but he's up through and into 2nd position. Keep an eye out for Jake Dennis as well. He's fancying a slice of the action as well. well as Pascal Wehrlein. He's got the extra traction, he's got the extra speed, and now he's side by side with his teammate for second as we flick it through into the right and the left-hander. This is going to be really interesting to see what Wehrlein will be able to do, and surely he's going to be ahead of his teammate before we get into the braking zone.
Yeah, he's gone from 8th to 2nd in just over a lap, hasn't he? So that shows how powerful the attack mode is, and that's a message that will go out to all the other teams as well as to what's going to happen when their drivers take it.
The disadvantage here for Pascal Wehrlein is, of course, he's now exercising, using more energy compared to the other drivers around. He's going to have to save that a little bit later on.
He's also used an attack mode. He's used 4 minutes of it. The others have got 8 minutes left, so it's got him into a good position going into the lead right now. It's going to be an interesting one to see what he decides to do now. He could try and make a break for it.
Yeah, certainly could. Let's see whether he's able to do that. 1 minute and 20 left of attack mode as he comes across the timing line to begin lap 6 then. So it's Wehrlein now in front from Mortara, then Nico Muller in 3rd position. Of course, Porsche have had great form.
And, you know, you can see the top 10 sort of little cat and mouse. There's not a lot going on. The gaps are opening up a little bit further behind. So you saw Buemi was the first one to go. And I can imagine, again, Cassidy, Rowland, they're going to be pretty much next.
Well, that's Nick de Vries in some bother, though. He's come to us. Sorry to cut in front of you there, Albie, but Nick de Vries has come to a stop on the track, and I hope it's in a safe place. I hope it's in a place that can be recovered, because the yellow flag is out at turn 1. If they can't get that car recovered as we get a crunch of carbon fibre with Barnard clipping the back of Jake Dennis, we may end up seeing a full course yellow, possibly a safety car.
You're looking good on energy. Still 2 to 4% up on everyone. Except Cassidy behind you, 1% up on Cassidy behind you.
If you can't move that, it's going to be a bit of an issue.
But it's an issue for Rowland, isn't
this
it?
is race control speaking. We go full course yellow in 3, 2, 1. Full course yellow, please.
So Da Costa shuffles Oliver Rowland out to the grass going into the complex, and subsequently Rowland then also manages to clip the back Nick Cassidy's Citroen for good measure. Now, what happened to Nick de Vries? So we saw him come to a stop. He wasn't really a feature in this race, given he was starting right down the back of the grid. Was there any contact, or is it just a technical problem? You can see him right at the back of your picture, and the car locks up. Watching on here in Mexico City, lining the grandstands here, and now where's Nico Muller going to go? He's already done it early on in turn 16, so he accelerates out of the final corner, comes across the timing line as the green light is on, and racing resumes. Nico Muller and Edoardo Mortara, both with 2 attack mode deployments remaining, will lead this race. We understand that it's 2 added laps is what we're expecting this to be, and just to compound the woes for Envision, if it wasn't bad enough already, a 5-second time penalty has just been given to Joel Eriksson, who's come up on our timing screen there as well. So that's a bit of disappointment for that team, given their fortunes here so far this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a shame. They've been so fast this weekend. Buemi's looked the fastest of anybody, and obviously started on pole as well. So yeah, massive shame for them. But it's starting to feel like there's a bit more energy in the pack now, isn't it? People are getting a bit edgier in the racing. Mitch Evans having a look around the outside and gets the move done on Maxi Gunter. Decides to just sit tight.
Tictum.
Dennis, 10.
Yeah, sorry, Tictum was lunging up. Gunter's inside there as well. He might try and get 2 for the price of 1. Into attack mode, then goes Gunter. And where does he slot in then? He slots in behind Mitch Evans. Sorry, beg your pardon, Tony Felix da Costa, doesn't he? So loses a couple of places there, does Max Gunter, but stays ahead of Oliver Rowland for now. I reckon the pace is going to start ramping up pretty quickly now once this race has restarted. You would imagine that Muller and Mortara, they're probably going to try and expend a bit of energy, get a bit of a gap over Pascal Wehrlein to give them track position so they can try to go into attack mode and not lose places.
They still haven't pulled the pin. Lap time's still in the 1:11, so this isn't yet just in the top 10 alone. There's still a majority who've got, well, it's probably not 50-50, who've got 8 minutes left.
So the reason why they have this confidence, there's a change to the sporting regulations for this season where you don't have to use all the time.
Whoa! Well, there we go. That's a big moment coming down into the complex, and it's eliminating one of the Jaguars from this race as well.
Da Costa.
Yeah, Da Costa in some bother then. Huge drama here on lap 25. The yellow flag is out. There's debris stricken all over the circuit, and we'll have to pick the bones out of that one. The yellow flag has gone away, so hopefully we don't get another full course yellow or another safety car, but we're now looking at Max Gunter side by side with the Andretti as Evans, Da Costa's teammate, goes in for his attack mode, but you can see what it's done. Look at the split it's caused now, this fracture in the top 10 because of that incident that has unfolded.
Yeah, I think it was one of the one of the Citroens, doesn't it? went for a lunge down the inside, and then one of the DS cars collided with Da Costa there. So we'll get a replay soon. No further action for Dan Ticktum. So that's good news. He's been cleared of that investigation.
Yeah, great news there for Dan Ticktum.
However, it says he's stopped.
Yeah, unfortunately, not so great news. On the other side there for Dan Ticktum.
Okay, good job, let's get after it.
Yeah, he's just going through the Perotada, so clearly something's gone wrong for Dan Ticktum. Hopefully he can make his way back into the pit lane. And you can see there, Google Gemini says the driver's got ample energy remaining for the rest of this race. Expect them to push flat out to the finish. That's reflective in the pace. We're now into the high 1 minute 10s.
Yeah, watch Dennis. He's the one who's still up a little bit on energy. He's just lost a place to Evans, but he is up on energy here. So keep an eye. Ooh, that could get edgy. That was Barnard having a little sniff down the inside of Mortara. Inside the stadium section, you've got to be brave and fairly committed to make that move. Cassidy's gone for 6 minutes. So Cassidy's gone for a very different strategy to everybody else. We've seen most of them just go for 4. This is Evans using the 4-wheel drive to outdrag Barnard down the inside, and he launched himself onto the start-finish straight to gain that 3rd place.
That's lovely for Mitch Evans, past Jake Dennis, past Taylor Barnard, now through for 3rd position as we start lap 27. Let's see whether he can pick off Edoardo, Mortara and Nico Muller. But keep an eye out for Nick Cassidy. This is what he loves to do. He sort of sits there.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think he played that absolutely really smart. You know, everyone in front of him has less attack mode time now. He's going to have that overlap. He has more energy than the rest of them, so he's definitely going to be moving forward. I think he timed that absolutely perfect.
Cassidy through into the lead at the start of lap 30 then, so Nick Cassidy in the Citroen is ahead of Edoardo Mortara, and he's got more attack mode remaining relative to the Swiss driver.
Okay, get it spent, you've got the most energy ahead of you, good power offsets ahead.
Dennis being told to pick up the pace then.
What a performance from Cassidy. Another absolute masterclass of how to manage your energy. He just sat there so patiently in the beginning of this race, and he's just unleashed it after the safety car.
And the pace has really ramped up now. They're into the 107s last time round for Nick Cassidy. So Dennis is now there. He's got more energy, and he's going to have a longer time in this current attack mode. But everyone else is going quicker, so for him to come through is going to be harder. He's gone past down the inside of Evans into the stadium, so that puts him into the top 5. But the leaders, the pace has ramped up. Here comes Oliver Rowland. So after his little grass track moment on the first attack mode, he's dragged himself back into the point, and he's now got 6 minutes to go. But that will take him out of attack mode.
So here's the thing for Dennis, is that it's great, he's got more attack mode remaining, but he's got, what, a 1 second gap relative to Mortara, because Muller's the sort of cork in the bottle now at this point in the race. So though he's got extra attack mode, he's going to have to use that to get and latch onto the back of the top 2 to be in contention for a victory of this race. Dennis has a lot of other drivers go in for their final attack mode. Rowland in there, Barnard also went in as well, and now with the last 20 seconds of attack mode remaining, Dennis has got to find his way through on Mortara and Cassidy. 450 metres the start finish straight. Mortara tries to defend it down in towards turn 1. They go to the left-hand side of the circuit, and Dennis is surely going to run out of attack mode here as they come on the exit of the corner. He's got extra speed, he's got extra traction, he's got the inside line through into turn 3. Mortara's going to try and defend. There's contact as he gets his front wing clipped, and Dennis doesn't get the better of Edoardo Mortara and is now out of attack mode.
That is crucial for Nick Cassidy as well. Now look, all those 4 cars are out of attack mode. Rowland's the one who's got 3 minutes to go, and Dennis just hanging on. But watch the wing. Is he going to make contact with the tyre? Because then that makes a risk for the front right tyre there.
Yeah, could get a black and white flag for Jake Dennis. No signs of that at the moment. I have to say, though, it's played into the hands beautifully of Nick Cassidy here, because it's given him a 1.3 second buffer to those 3 drivers who were squabbling for position behind.
But don't forget, he has 2 minutes less of attack mode.
No, he doesn't. He's just gone in for it.
Yeah, but he's got 2 minutes less of other people.
Yeah, of course, yeah, you're right.
He's used 6 already, so he's only got 2 minutes. The others have got 4 to go.
Yes, but with the pace of this race now, it's going to be very difficult for them to catch him. Cassidy's just taking the pin out of the grenade. He's just going now for broke. He's going to go as fast as he can, try and build his gap, and try and make sure he breaks that slipstream.
Yeah, nothing to lose then for Nick Cassidy here. 2 added laps in this race. Nico Muller, Dennis goes through for his attack mode deployment then.
And Mortara as well,
yeah.
So everyone's taken their final attack mode.
So Mortara and Dennis, 4 minutes left on the clock then for them. Cassidy's just about to come to the end of it, but he's got a 2 second buffer over the rest of the field. Is that going to be the decisive margin that the Kiwi needs?
More than these guys settle in, we'll take energy and we can advise.
Down the start finish straight, Oliver Rowland.
Oh, it's going to be tight.
Trying to attack against Nico Muller into turn 1. Can he get it done?
Dennis past Muller as well.
Beautiful for Jake Dennis then. So Muller loses 2 places in the space of 1 corner. Rowland is through, Dennis is through.
Rowland's got a little bit more energy as well than the 2 cars in front of him.
This is a frenetic end to this race. Cassidy coming to the end of attack mode. So now what Edoardo Mortara needs to do, look, he's got a buffer of about a second or so relative to Rowland and Dennis behind. He needs to absolutely go for broke over the next few laps of this race to be in with a contention of challenging for victory here, because Cassidy now is going to be vulnerable at the end of this one unless he's got enough of an advantage, he's got enough pace underneath him to hold off the challenge of the 4-wheel drive and the extra 50 kilowatts of power that Edoardo Mortara has.
I don't think he's going to be able to hold him off. Mortara is looking so good right now.
This is going to be absolutely critical here. Rowland is going to come to the end of his deployment, and this is going to leave him actually vulnerable to Dennis and Muller, because look, they have got a fair bit left, relatively speaking, as well. Wehrlein also might be a bit vulnerable at the end of this one. Nato's managed to move his way up inside the top 10, and also Marti, shout out to him in the Cupra Kiro from the back of the grid. He's sitting in 8th place. That's a phenomenal job from the Spanish rookie, really trying to turn his fortunes around. So lap 36 out of 38, 3 to go. Cassidy's gap has come down to just 0.4 of a second, and Edoardo Mortara with that extra 50 kilowatts of power, with the all-wheel drive, surely it's going to be a matter of when and not if he challenges for the race lead.
Yeah, this is brilliant from Edo Mortara. He's played this very well. He's not rushing it. He's got 2 minutes of attack mode. I reckon we'll see it at the end of the lap.
Here's Dennis on Rowland for the final podium place. Makes it look easy, doesn't he?
But the only thing here, Mortara, you can see him saving energy before Cassidy. So he's struggling a little bit.
They come to you.
So the team there advising Mortara not to overspend the energy whilst he's got the advantage of the attack mode. So he's going to have to capitalise on those short exits to try and make a move on Cassidy.
Barnard and Muller were side by side there in the background as well, both of those drivers in attack mode, but Cassidy then surely is going to be vulnerable here to Edoardo Mortara down this start-finish straight. We begin lap 37 as we come out of the Peraltada. Mortara being told to manage the energy, but also try and manage the gap to Nick Cassidy. 2 to go then here in Mexico City. Look at Oliver Rowland trying to retaliate on Jake Dennis down into turn 1. Nothing doing for him. Can't find his way past at the moment.
This is so close. I have no idea which one of the top 4 is going to come out with a victory.
Yeah, 4 drivers all in contention for this one. So 1 minute left of that attack mode, and Dennis is right now on the gearbox of Edoardo Mortara. So he's certainly in contention for the challenge for victory, but Rowland is trying to disrupt the Season 9 World Champions Challenge as he looks for the outside line into turn 5. Can't find his way through.
Mortara has to get the move done now. If he's going to take Cassidy, he's going to have to take the risk, spend a bit of extra energy and do it right now.
Yeah, decisive there, but Cassidy defends the line into turn 9 unless he runs it a bit deep, but he doesn't. He holds it quite nicely. Cassidy's going to park the car on the inside, which he's entitled to do. Doesn't chop over. It's going to leave him vulnerable to Jake Dennis, who's now side by side with Oliver Rowland. Rowland challenging through for 3rd place as we come into the stadium, then into the right-hander, and Rowland is up and into the final podium places once more.
24 seconds left to get this move done for Edo Mortara.
Yeah, out of the final corner of the Peraltada. It's now or never time for Edoardo Mortara in the challenge for victory. He'll know that. The team radio will have told him that. He needs to get a good run out of turn 16 then, but he's not got it. He's got the slipstream, he's got an advantage in pace, but he's not got the opportunity to attack for the race lead. As we start the final lap, it's advantage Nick Cassidy as Mortara comes to the end of his attack mode deployment, and likewise Jake Dennis.
This is a brilliant drive from Nick Cassidy. He's just parking the car on the apexes. He's made it so difficult for anyone to overtake him. I'm sure we're going to see it again here. He's just going to slow down, make himself very wide, and then get a good exit.
Dennis attacking against Oliver Rowland there as well, and Barnard's come into the picture here as well. So we've gone from 4 to maybe 5 cars who are squabbling for position. Mortara just looks to be a little bit too far away. You can see him looking in his mirrors. Challenging is Oliver Rowland. Defending is Edoardo Mortara. Cassidy surely is going to have this one sewn up as they squabble for position from behind. Look at the inside line there for Oliver Rowland. Can't quite do it. Door gets shut. Dennis looking for a challenge there as well. Barnard, Wehrlein, both in the picture also. We come through to the final corner, and it's going to be a debut victory for Citroen here in Formula E. It's going to be Nick Cassidy's first win of the season in Mexico City. What a drive and what a performance from 13th on the grid. Nick Cassidy will come across the line to take the checkered flag and win the Mexico City ePrix. Edoardo Mortara is 2nd. Oliver Rowland is on the podium once again in 3rd position, ahead of Taylor Barnard, Jake Dennis and Pascal Wehrlein, and Marti in 7th position as well. What a phenomenal drive from the Kiwi. What a great job from the Citroen team to secure their first win in Formula E as well. If he is presented, Jorge Abed presenting the FIA medal to Nick Cassidy. And now time for the winner's trophy to be awarded to the Kiwi, the championship leader. Carlos Martinez Velasquez, then the Director General of Mexico City Tourism Promotion Fund, awarding the winner's trophy to Nick Cassidy, his 12th win in Formula E, the first ever for Citroen in the championship. And a fantastic way for him to kick off season 12 now with the victory in the second race, but also the lead in the Drivers' World Championship. Now time for the Tattinger champagne to be sprayed here on the stage. What a phenomenal atmosphere we've had this weekend.